Last time, we saw Broly become Beerus' rival, with Goku and Vegeta also stepping into the realm of gods. Now with them training on Beerus' planet, where will that lead them next? We'll be covering all that and more in this fifth part of What If Broly Turned Good. At some point, the Universe 6 tournament would be set up. Although after seeing the Saiyans on Beerus' planet, Champa's not really too sure how good his chances are. All three have been growing a lot stronger. As for Universe 7's team, it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, with Gohan and Piccolo as the next two. Right off the bat, you can probably tell that this is going to be a match they'll win. Goku's the first one up, and he gets to show off a new form here. Well, not right away, because he starts by pacing himself, but he's never used this in an actual battle, so he pulls it out here, even though it kind of is overkill. He defeats Potamo, and then against Frost, he shows off his newest form, Super Saiyan Blue. Vegeta's also unlocked the same thing, but of course Kakarot's the one to steal the big reveal. The rest of the matches aren't really anything special until we get to Hit. Broly's the last for Universe 7, and Hit's the last for Universe 6. Hit wipes out pretty much anyone who's left, which means the final fight is going to be Hit versus Broly. Broly paces himself too, but he does take Hit seriously because he's an assassin. He hears this guy's really experienced, and in terms of his own experience, Broly has been training a lot. He's grown a ton as a fighter, but he's not like Goku or Vegeta where he's been training his entire life and has the same level of technique as them. In terms of power, yeah, he's more than great, but he knows that his technique still needs to be worked on. So he's a lot more calculated as a fighter because he knows the shortcoming about himself. It was the same as when he held his power back because he was afraid that he'd go back to his old self. Broly is very conscious about how he fights, both when it comes to how he uses his power and how he reacts to the power of other people. Goku was actually one of the people who showed him this. Right now he's holding back just to see what Hit's capable of, and then he's going to show off his full power. When fighting, Broly used to hold back either just so he wouldn't lose control, or just so he wouldn't accidentally kill someone. But now he's holding back to study them, and he finds Hit's time techniques really interesting and also really dangerous at the same time. There's only one way Broly could think of around it: raw power. He knows he doesn't have the technique to work around that here, so he powers up into his legendary Super Saiyan form, terrifying everyone from Universe 6 who isn't familiar with this. Hit still remains confident though, trying to utilize his time skip, but it doesn't work. Broly just breaks right through it. Legendary Super Saiyan is so powerful for him that he's breaking right through that time skip. He doesn't need to predict or anything, he just straight up overpowers Hit, busting right through his time skip and defeating him. The worst part is, Hit could tell that Broly is still holding back something. And he's not doing this to insult Hit. Well, maybe the old Broly would have done it. He's holding back because he simply didn't need that power, but Hit asks if he could see it. He wants to know what he was truly up against. So, Broly obliges, transforming once more. By now he's unlocked his own godly form. Unlike Goku and Vegeta, Super Saiyan God didn't seem to be compatible with him. But he still did have godly ki, and he unlocked something completely different. Physically there isn't too much of a change. The most notable thing is his hair starts to grow out. But he looks like a regular legendary Super Saiyan. Well, as regular as one of those can look. This form is simply called God Broly. As the name implies, it's his godly form. The amount of power from it is terrifying. Even someone as stoic as Hit is showing a reaction. And Champa's freaking out. This was rigged from the start. They wouldn't have been able to win anyways. Broly could have just fought alone and he would have won the whole match. But the tournament ends with the Universe 7 obviously being the victor. Oh yeah, and Beerus has a nice little gift for Goku. For participating in this tournament, and for training so long to be his rival, he tells Whis to revive him. He was going to do this anyways, but at least now he has an actual excuse so he doesn't look too benevolent. Goku is now alive again. Of course, Zamasu has been watching this entire thing. He sees how devastating that power was from Broly, and he studies him a bit more, learning some more about his history as well. And it gets him to start thinking. Of course, there's still the whole time travel element because Trunks came here, but when he learns about Broly, he's disgusted. First of all, there's him making the mockery of godly power, but unlike Goku, there's something else about Broly that Zamasu doesn't like. He rampaged through an entire galaxy before, leaving the Kais so helpless that they had to rely on the help from mortals. King Kai had to enlist Goku to help, and that wasn't even his galaxy that got destroyed. It's a shameful act from the Kaio, and a disgusting act from that mortal Broly. It really enrages Zamasu. So let's go over to Trunks' timeline for a bit. What happened there after he returned? Well, of course, Trunks defeated the androids. That all goes perfectly fine. But one day, Shin and Kibito showed on Earth to get help from Trunks. Pretty much right after the defeat of the androids, which is still way later than what happened in the present timeline, Broly became active in the future, rampaging through a galaxy and pretty much doing the same thing he did in the present timeline. So Trunks already knows what he's working with here, but he has no clue how he's supposed to fight Broly alone. The good thing is Paragus didn't come here yet. He might not even know about Trunks or have a plan to kill him, especially because they were going after Vegeta in the first place. By now, Paragus is dead. Broly has killed him at this point. He's rampaged a lot and is basically just doing whatever he wants now. Oh, that's why Paragus never came here. Anyways, Trunks goes at Shin and Kibito and trains under them. He's their best bet at defeating Broly. One thing working in Trunks' favor is that he doesn't think Broly will transform against him. Trunks has no connection to Broly, nothing that could trigger his transformation in the first place. So if he meets Broly while he's untransformed, well, he could easily win the fight there. The problem arises once Broly transforms. So Trunks thinks a surprise attack would work. Although there's another issue with that. With Paragus being dead, that means Broly's uncontrolled, so he might not be in his base state. He might just be constantly rampaging. Trunks focuses on his training though. Eventually this leads to him breaking the Z-Sword, and Elder Kai awakens his potential. With this new power-up, it should be more than enough to defeat Broly, even if he is fully powered up. Since this Broly's been uncontrolled for so long, he's growing stronger and stronger by the day. But Trunks just might have the jump on him right now. especially if he catches Broly while he's off guard and not serious. He could just finish the fight. He doesn't want to have a long drawn-out fight with Broly, he just wants to end it. It's basically an assassination job. Trunks basically chooses a random time to strike, and he's brought over to where Broly is. They catch him on a random planet, and the second Trunks arrives there, he powers up an ultimate, charging all of his energy, and hitting him with the full power Masenko. Broly doesn't even realize what hit him or who hit him. Trunks knows how dangerous Broly is, and he's not messing around. The Masenko hits Broly point blank in his chest, bursting right through him and launching him out into space, being sent flying into a nearby star. Well, that was a really safe way of going about it, and it seemed to be pretty effective. One less loose end for Trunks. He was kind of worried about the fact that Broly never showed up here, so it's good that he got that dealt with. This also has another good side effect because at some point Babidi's going to show himself, and Trunks is already more than strong enough to fight him and Dabura. So once Babidi tries to revive Boo, Trunks stops both of them very easily, and Boo is never revived in the future, which also leads to Shin and Kibito surviving here, and by extension, Beerus. So that pretty much tells us everything that's happened in Trunks' timeline so far. We fast forward to where we are now. With Beerus being alive, that's obviously going to be an issue for Zamasu. But he isn't really too concerned. After seeing Broly's power, he thinks that stealing his body will be more than enough. And that's exactly what he does. In an alternate timeline, Zamasu swaps bodies with Broly, and even though he can't fully access his power yet, he's still confident with it. And he does the exact same thing Goku Black did, coming to the future timeline and meeting Zamasu there. Gowasu is killed, and future Zamasu becomes immortal. Now they need to figure out who to kill. So in Universe 7, they obviously need to target Shin so they can kill Beerus in the process. From what they understand, the strongest mortal in this timeline is Trunks. Anyone else strong on Earth is dead, and Broly never came to Earth here either. As they look into the history of Universe 7, they see that Trunks fought Broly at one point, and ended up defeating him, so they don't need to worry about Broly here either. But Broly Black is having some issues. He can't fully control his power yet. It's essentially like what happened with Goku Black, where he didn't get fully used to the body right away, but even worse. Broly has so much power locked away, and the Zamasu in that body can't really figure out how to access it. Although, Broly Black coming here does cause one big issue, something that he didn't expect. His power is sensed by someone far away. Not by the Kais, not by Trunks, another warrior. Broly Black and Zamasu start working around Universe 7, attacking random weak planets just so he can get used to the body. They need to be covert though because they don't want Shin to notice right away, because then they'd have to fight Trunks and he's not sure if he's ready for that yet. But after a few fights he should be good to go. Although when he's fighting here, his energy is felt by one person, someone sensitive enough to it. While ravaging one of the planets, Zamasu senses someone approaching. There's a glowing ball of energy in the sky, and a large figure descends down upon the planet. He's been awakened by the energy of Broly Black. After being dormant for so long, Broly's back. This whole time, future Broly's been alive. He's pretty badly burned, and there's a massive scar in his chest from Trunks, but he's still completely unrestrained and stronger than before. He's been floating through space in a coma. Zamasu can't believe he's even still alive. That just shows the tenacity of the legendary Super Saiyan. But Broly Black is pretty happy. This will be a perfect test of his power. Broly felt the energy of his fellow legendary Super Saiyan. It was himself after all, and that was the catalyst to waking him up again. He went straight towards it and now encounters his doppelganger. So, Broly Black begins fighting him. Broly Black in his base is pretty strong because he still does have God the Ki with him. Also, look at what happened in Goku Black. In his base alone, he was able to fight Goku in Super Saiyan 2. Broly Black is very inexperienced though and doesn't really know how to utilize this body. This is pretty much days after he became Broly, whereas Goku Black had a much longer time fighting against Trunks. So at this point, I'd say Broly Black is a little bit weaker than present Broly in his base, which is still really strong, but he's also up against future Broly, a legendary Super Saiyan who's been unrestrained for so long and grew stronger after fighting against Trunks. His power continuously grew. So the match is actually pretty lopsided, in future Broly's favor. And because of that, the fight ends in a massive upset. Future Broly destroys Broly Black, and then sets his sights on Zamasu. Thankfully for Zamasu, he's immortal, so he can't die. But things are going pretty bad pretty quickly. Although he does have one backup plan. He's not too sure how well it'll work, but he lost his ally and he's already started the Zero Mortals plan, so he's going to finish this. Broly can't kill him, which is a good thing. But after studying Broly for so long, he figured out that in the present, Broly was controlled by Paragus. The crown that he had to control him is broken though, but Zamasu can use the same principles here. Mind control. Whatever that device was to control Broly, he could probably pull the same thing off with his own magic. And that's what his plan B was. After meeting Broly Black, this Zamasu is caught up to speed about everything involving Broly. He didn't really have much time to learn a lot more about him, but he at least knows this. It's not going to be an easy process, but Zamasu's a pretty gifted fighter, and he'll find some way to make this work. By this point, Shin and Trunks have felt this energy. Broly's back, and of course they do sense this. It would be hard to not notice it, but it does catch them by surprise. Also, who was Broly fighting? Because it felt like he was fighting someone else strong, but Trunks couldn't really sense it. Shin and Kibito felt what seemed like a godly presence though, which is really confusing. Either way, they need to figure out where Broly is and stop him once and for all. It seemed like Trunks killed him before, but it looks like he really can survive stuff like that. Trunks does know that in the present timeline, Broly survived that attack from Goku, but Trunks was sure he killed him. He sent a beam flying right through his chest, and he got launched into a star. It looks like he underestimated the legendary Super Saiyan. Remember, this Trunks also doesn't even know what happened with Broly after the fact. He doesn't realize Broly eventually came to Earth and became good. Just worth mentioning. So, Trunks is brought to where Broly is, and they arrive on a random planet where Zamasu's with Broly. Zamasu is trying to control Broly with magic, but nothing's really working right now. Although something changes when Broly sees Trunks. Before, Broly had no reason to have a grudge against Trunks, but of course now he does. Trunks is his main target, and this is good for Zamasu. You know what? He probably can't control Broly, but Broly's still going to be fighting Trunks here and can kill him. He'll find some way to kill Broly later and probably control him on his own. But for now, he's going to watch this. Immediately, he teleports away just so he's not noticed. And all they see is Broly. Now begins round 2. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly versus Ultimate Trunks. Like I said, Broly is stronger, but after Trunks' previous encounter with him, Trunks has been training as much as possible, knowing that he needs to grow stronger than ever. And again, he knows how dangerous Broly is, and Broly slipped through his fingers once. He's not going to let that happen again. He aims to make this fight quick, and he's confident that he could win here. But something's different about Broly this time. He's stronger not just because he grew in his base, but his legendary Super Saiyan form looks a bit different, and Trunks can't believe what he's seeing. This entire time, Broly hasn't just been a legendary Super Saiyan, he's gone beyond. This is essentially legendary Super Saiyan 2. This time it is tougher for Trunks, even with how much he's grown. First of all, Broly's not off guard here. Second of all, he's stronger, and with a stronger form. And third, Trunks doesn't really know what to expect. But Broly's overcome by an intense bloodlust. First, after seeing Broly Black, which he still doesn't know anything about, and now seeing Trunks again, the person who tried to kill him. But he wasn't successful, and this time the tables have turned. As Broly fights Trunks, someone then tries to attack Shin and Kibito. It's Zamasu. Of course, this leaves him confused because why is Zamasu attacking them? Why is he here in the first place? Zamasu's stronger than both of them, but they're able to hold their own just for a little bit, and they figure out what Zamasu's doing. But amidst this battle, Trunks is able to get just enough power to deal a severe blow to Broly, hitting him right in that same scar he gave him all those years ago. This weakens him significantly, and Trunks makes sure to kill him this time. He unsheathes the broken Z sword, using his ki to turn it into a full sword, and he kills Broly exactly like he did to Frieza, slicing him up into a bunch of pieces, and then incinerating him. No matter how resilient he is, he won't come back from that. And this leaves Zamasu in awe because he didn't realize Trunks got that strong. Had Broly Black unlocked his full potential, he would have been able to fight Trunks, but as they were now, if they encountered Trunks, yeah, that wouldn't have worked. And then Trunks immediately rushes in to help Shin and Kibito, getting the go-ahead to kill Zamasu. So he cut Zamasu in half, but he just regenerates. And then they find out Zamasu's immortal, finally learning more about his plan. Nothing they do against him will work, but there's a bright pillar of light that appears, and they're a bit shocked to see who it is. Trunks doesn't know who it is, but the other three do. It's Whis. Why is he here? Zamasu feels a tap on his shoulder. Looks like he got here just in time. It's Beerus. He woke up not too long ago, sensing a disturbance and also realizing that this is the time he's going to meet his rival. But on the way here, he realized that his rival was in danger, as well as Shin. And if Shin's in danger, that means he's in danger. Had he been a few moments later, he probably wouldn't have been able to save Shin. But this is easy. With a quick motion, he seals Zamasu away. It doesn't matter if he's immortal. This will stop him for good. And then he looks over to Trunks. He's not really too sure what he was looking for in a rival, but Trunks seems to be the strongest mortal left, and his rival was supposed to be a Saiyan. It looks like it's going to be Trunks. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.